All right, so welcome back to the channel. My name's Kevin.
I'm Tarsha.
This is, of course, Conversations with the Crawleys. We have conversations about faith, family, relationship, and we come to y'all live today. Live. We've been, well, one of us has been traveling, and so we didn't have a chance to do the recap on Friday, Saturday like we normally do. So we said, let's do it live. Let's see what y'all got to say, hear what you all have to say. So as you're watching this, do us a favor, go ahead and hit that like, hit the subscribe, request notifications,
and share.
We'll see you in the comments because we're watching the comments. So if you got something to say, drop it in there. All right. So this is the latest episode of Ready to Love, and there's a lot going on. We're starting to ramp up.
Yeah, we're trying to get there.
A little bit.
I know we kind of talked about this in the last recap, you know, and maybe you'll put some comments in there. How are y'all feeling about this cast for Dallas this season?
Well, not just the cast, because here's the thing. I don't know if y'all have been on the OWN website, and you may not know this, but I've been on the OWN website because I normally go there to, you know, look at the cast, get pictures for our thumbnails, stuff like that, right? Tell me, why is it still incomplete?
Still now?
Even now. Like, I went there earlier today and Red's picture is not there.
Okay.
So I don't know if OWN has decided that they want to kind of soft or what is it, quiet quitting this show or what? Because they are not putting the same effort and energy, in my opinion, to it.
And you know, when a show comes back on several seasons, you got to keep it fresh. And that might mean your talent needs to be fresh as far as the producers.
Your producers need to be back.
Yes. And so I'm wondering if that's why it seems a little bit lackluster for words, in my opinion. You know, I'm just not getting that same energy as we saw in previous episodes. So I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. But Oprah, you need to look. Oprah and Will, y'all need to talk and figure this out. All right. So anyway, this episode opens up with the brunch, right? And why are the ladies like at the IHOP?
That is not IHOP. They had the food coming to them. So they had French toast, eggs, and bacon. It was all in the middle of the table.
So if we look at the previous lounges, as far as the ladies' lounge and the men's lounge, he was like, look, we ain't got a space for y'all, so we're gonna just meet up at a restaurant. That's what they did. It wasn't IHOP. It was like steak and egg or something. At least it wasn't the Waffle House. I'll give them that.
Right.
At least it wasn't the Waffle House. So Kat, of course, walks in, and a lot of the ladies are like, who is this person walking in here? You can see the look on some of them faces like,
they're like competition. They were not happy.
There was some competition, all right. So that is true, Jessica. Oprah Discovery does own it, so you know how they kind of do our networks, because
it's not going well.
Oprah needs to reclaim that and be like, look, I need y'all to figure that out,
right? Because they still using her name,
right?
Put a little more effort.
So the ladies were looking kind of like, okay, she's coming in, she's like, hey,
right,
y'all wanted to share the tea on what's going on with the guys, whatever.
Right,
and so they're like, no, keep your hands to yourself.
Right. I got my guy. You're going to have to figure out your own.
You must get your own.
Ooh, boy.
So Tommy's like, okay, we got something special. It's the ladies' choice as far as who goes home. And he's taking them for the Hoe-Down.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I know it's Dallas, but okay.
You never been to a Hoe-Down?
When I was like 9, 10, when field trips was, you just go on a hayride. That was that was a field trip. Did your school ever do that?
Only during October. So festival, fall festivals and stuff, and we'll get pumpkins.
Yeah.
But that was the only time I was in a barn.
I live Southside Chicago. We don't do that whole stuff.
I live too close to the city.
It brings back too many negative memories for us Southsiders. All right. So anyway, he gives them that. That's what it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So then first date is Maurier and Sierra.
Mm-hmm.
And Maurier is talking about, she asks, they have a connection.
Yeah.
They both kind of feel in the vibe. He says that
I was a little surprised.
I'm very surprised.
Okay, I thought I was the only one.
I'll be honest. I was very surprised.
Oh, this seems like coming out of left field a little bit.
Yeah. So she, he says that she's kind of like the around the way girl, a home girl, which, if y'all know, in previous episodes or previous seasons, that homegirl vibe has been the red flag that brothers have been like, nah, I'm good with that.
Well, she's more flirty though.
True.
And she's showing more of a girly side to it.
Yes.
So I get when he feels like he can talk to her when he's trying to say homegirl, around the way girl.
Yeah, I get
more
that.
so than just a friend vibe.
Right.
If I can put it that way.
So now he does have a child, and he's the one who has a child from
a previous relationship.
And basically, he says that she never let go of her relationship with her ex. So evidently the child is his. He just is like, they couldn't let go of each other, so I'm not going to be the third wheel in this whole thing. So now I just again scanning, and I'll see what information I can find out. And if y'all know, let me know. But I was scanning, and it looks like there's some things as far as the baby mother, or the mother of his child. I don't want to just say baby mama, but the mother of his child is saying that that's not always facts as far as Maurier. So if y'all know some other things, let me know. Put that in the comments. So
she's trying to say it wasn't all on her.
Right. Right. So I know one of the other YouTube channels is going to have her on, it looks like, to have a conversation. So
with the ex-girlfriend?
Yep. Yeah. So listen, that's not necessarily our style. That's not necessarily our steez. It's how we do it. Okay. But that's what. So if there's something that comes out of that, we'll talk to y'all about it. Then the other thing is Red and Lee go on a date. Red, bruh, why Red looked like he was going on like a job interview for a corporate finance job?
Well, okay, if we break this down,
break it down.
He's kind of like, oh, everybody wants me to be the hype man. Everybody wants me to be turned up. But, I'm a brother, want to come home and just relax and be laid back. And I'm trying to figure out, what can you do both? Like it was the energy in there was so flat. It was just like
flatter than 4 flat tires running over thumbtacks and nails. It was flat.
I was like, I get you don't want to feel like you DJing tonight, but bro, are you really interested in her? It was just like, she's just like, I want you to just want to be lively. Like, what are we here? How are we going to connect?
She's like, I need that pull that personality out. I know you take a little bit to warm up, but look, there is no opening act for you. This is it. You are the main event right now. You need to make sure you bring your A game.
I don't know. I don't think he really was interested in her. It just I didn't feel like he was interested in her.
Because he started talking about, and I worked for the city, and I did contracting and compliance, and I was really good at compliance. And then I found another job, and I was like, dude, or are you giving like your resume?
Well, I guess, again, he's trying to say there's two sides of me. And yes, you know me, because this is the thing. You set yourself up that way.
He did.
You set yourself up as a comedian and a DJ.
He did.
When, if you really wanted to let that be the surprise, why didn't you say you work for the city? Be a city manager or something. Right. So,
and then let it be like, but I think I've seen you someplace. Yeah, you have seen me. I do that. That's another gig that I do. Then yeah. So now you set the expectation, but you set the expectation that you are funny man. You are life of the party. And then you come with Debbie Downer attitude.
I'm just a city worker.
I'm just a poor little city worker.
I had to work my 9 to 5.
Getting that pension from the city.
Right. What did Jessica say?
Said he was talking like he was on the interview. So
he still wasn't winning no points.
No, not at all.
He was not getting the job of a boyfriend. He wasn't going to
get hired at all. So we'll talk about him with Unique because he needed to let it go. So then that we do get to the Hoe-Down, and Chris is like, "Hey, look, Tommy, I done seen other brothers mess up. They just walk out of your party. I'm letting you know my job is giving me an award, so I'm gonna have to leave a little early. Is that okay?" Tommy's like, "Okay, you
better make your rounds.
Make your rounds
because you might be
going home. You might be going home, and you already home. You're already sitting at home, finding out you got sent home."
So, but he seemed like he was staying for the majority of it. It was hard to tell. I was like, well, he's here for most of it.
Yeah. Until he left before dusk, so he had to go home and change before that 8:00 party. So Christopher, because there's two Chris's there. So Christopher, the one who just came last week or week before last, him and Unique are talking, and they seem to have a good little vibe.
Yeah, he wasn't feeling her at first.
No, he was just like, okay. She put a little attention to him. He's like, okay, I can see this.
Right, possibly working out.
Possibly.
His accent, though, it trips me out. He has a very thick Southern accent.
He got a thick Southern twang.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. All right. So then Janelle and Herbert are chilling in the swing. Now, Janelle is like, and remember, Janelle was on everybody's radar for a minute.
Oh, yeah. You know how those first couple of people, they're like everybody's top.
Yes.
So
Janelle was but she says that Herbert and Quentin are her top two.
Yeah, since the beginning, I believe.
But remember, she also had a thing for Red initially.
She did, but
which was surprising, but also kind of went nowhere.
Yeah, and I think we will talk about a little bit more about that, about Red, as we're going on, because and we can talk about what they were saying, kind of like what she said.
She said, yeah. So Red, yes, Red was interested in Lee. You don't think he was interested in Lee? He was more animated and lively with Janelle and Kiera.
He sure
I can give you that too. It could have been that he was. But here's the thing: if you know that you're in this scenario and you know that that you can be sent home because people aren't feeling you, at least make them think that not necessarily that you're interested, but at least have a good conversation, show your personality. If it goes nowhere, it goes nowhere, right?
Well,
but what do I lose by having a conversation with you and not sounding like I'm auditioning for the latest chiropractor job with the city?
I don't know, because if you want to be friends, it's just like it was just like he felt like he needed to make a point that there's two sides of him, and he has this side hustle, but he brings on money every what 15th
on the first and the 15th. Yep. he got that standard government paycheck coming. First and the 15th. I can hook you up on the first and the 15th.
Right, you're right.
So back to Herbert and Janelle. They're having a good connection. They're having a good little vibe. And then Quentin comes over with his shirt
undone.
Did he even have a shirt on? He had like a jean jacket or something on, didn't he?
Yeah, it was a jean shirt.
Okay. I was like, okay, bro.
Yeah.
Coming over and talking about y'all too close. Herbert's like, look, back up.
This is my time.
He's like, this is my time. Back away.
I redeemed my time. Oh my God.
So then on the other side of the ranch, we call it the ranch.
Yeah, well, Janelle does open up to him a little bit, and just saying, was she the one that was saying about the swing and reminding her of home?
And then they were trying to figure out how to get that swinging again.
I'm gonna swing right out of it on the ground.
Shawty swing my way. So Red again talks with Unique.
And he says that he wants to squash it. That's what he said. It's like he don't know how to, he doesn't know how to manage conflict well at all.
At all. Because it's like, okay, y'all had the first conversation and it didn't go well, right?
Nope.
So then you have a second conversation. You're trying to explain why it hurt your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't go the way you expected either.
She's like,
so he's like, well, the third time's the charm. And Unique is like, no. She's like, I can't help that you feel offended by what I said, because that's not my intent, but that's not what I was doing. But I'm not changing how I feel. I feel that I know you enough to say I'm not interested. This ain't a match.
Yep.
Okay. He's like, but nah, the Mavericks like me, the XFL likes me, the Dallas Cowboys like me, the NASCAR race car circuit likes me, everybody likes me. Why don't you like me?
He said Red was butthurt.
Yeah, Red got abandonment issues or rejection issues. He got a rejection spirit on him.
But look, only thing you have to do is, okay, I hear you, and we're just going to leave it as is. That's not what I'm known for. And if you feel that's what you're hearing on the street, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Watch me be different. But okay, I get it. You
let it go.
I'm not your cup of tea. Cool.
You can't
which one of my boys are you interested in? Because I can basically put in a good word for you. We're not convinced. We're not working together. But here, I'm feeling so-and-so. Can you put in a good word for me? Or actually, don't even put anything for me, because she ain't a good.
No,
but there's a way for him to squash it without looking like, please like me. Please, Unique, can do you like me? No, take back what you said about me having a thought job. Listen, if you're confident in what you do.
Right. Or, okay, what do you mean you heard my name in the streets? What does that mean?
But do you really care?
He does.
True.
That's the thing. He cares too much about someone he just met 2 weeks ago.
True.
So if he cares so much, and she said, well, I heard things straight. Okay, tell me exactly what you heard. Let me know what it is. And then if you heard that, I'm sorry to hear that. But move on.
Right. That's not true. But if that's what you heard, that's what you're going to roll with. Cool. On. Hopefully you'll hear other things about me. If not, this just isn't a match.
Yeah, because
move around the ranch.
Move around the ranch. Because if I was interested in him and I'm watching how he's interacting with other women, and I see that even as two individual people,
he needs to let go and let God.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And he ain't doing either. And I'd be looking at him like, okay, I'm no longer interested.
Brother, thou art loosed.
Brother, thou art loosed. So I was like, you're going to get voted off.
Yeah, Red, I need you to go to Bishop Jake's church, go to the Potter's house. Ask him for at least some manpower tapes.
Some manpower tapes
from some of the conferences. Watch those. See if you'll be okay getting healed and delivered. Because this wasn't a good look for you, bro.
No, you keep putting himself in the same. It's like you keep digging the hole deeper.
It's like, dude. I mean, let it go. So it's like you found yourself in the bottom again. I get that. You want to try and see where your areas of vulnerability are, who's not feeling you. She doesn't like you. If you really want to squash it, be like, look, I just want to come and say, look, I have no hard feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, we're in this process together. They may match us again on another date.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we can just be cordial. You don't like what I do. I don't like how you approach what I do, but cool. We're in this process finding love. Hopefully you find your love, your match. I'm looking for mine. It's not each other. We know this.
Who does he have? Story. Who's connecting with him?
Well, that's the other question, right? Because the other thing is, and this is something we were talking about, is Red initially was Janelle's pick, and Kyra. Those are the two, because remember, Kyra was flirting with him, and Janelle was like, no, little girl.
Yeah.
And so now neither one of them seem to be pulling for him.
Right.
So now my question is, what happened in between the brunch with everybody and the first couple of dates, and now we're at this Hoe-Down, and nobody is checking for Red, it seems.
That's a good question.
So we'll
because
see.
Maybe and that's what I was thinking. Okay, we're not seeing some things that's happening because what they were mentioning a lot is that he does a lot of name dropping.
Yeah.
Now we don't see that except for the scene with Unique,
where
he started naming off all these teams.
Like Michael Irvin, my cousin.
I was like, those are all men. So you have better relationship with men than with women.
And it's like, again, and that's just the fact that you have to name drop. You have to. It doesn't give you the credibility you thought it gave you.
No, not with women. I'm like, okay, football team, they paid you, didn't you? So did they really like you, or they just paid you?
Right.
So
Aries and Philip is another connection that starts to happen. Oh, that was the other thing Red said. You said, I'm the king of the city.
Yeah. Try again.
And that's when she was like, okay, well, she said it a little before, but that he's giving narcissistic vibes, which the fact that he can't let it go, the fact that he has to be like, the fact that he has to tell. I hate to throw that term narcissist around, because I think we throw it around way too much. But he's giving those vibes of what I do is more important than who I am. And so he thinks that what he does is the thing that is going to open the doors for
a relationship.
Doesn't work that way.
Nope.
So Aries and Philip has a little connection there. That's another couple that's starting to have a little connection there. He's like, look, are you going to continue traveling? And she's like, hopefully not forever. He's like, okay, good, because I need you at home.
Yeah, because she's the stewardess, right? I think she's a flight stewardess.
I can't remember what she does.
I think she is. I can remember. That's why she travels so much. She's a stewardess.
No, she's software development sales.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah, same.
Sales,
yeah, she's still traveling a lot. So, yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see. I'm just not seeing a lot of deep conversation.
No.
Like before, you kind of get to know them. If she has kids, we see a little bit about that in the trailer.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm not feeling a lot of the connection through the way they're cutting this tape.
So far, there's no couple that I'm like, oh yeah, there's a couple I'm like, okay, I can see that, but there's a lot more couples I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I see you. All right. So then who else do we have? Oh, so then Kyra and Marvin start talking. They're on the swing. And he was like, listen here, girl.
That leather
I was
and
feeling
lace.
that leather and lace you had on. I wanted to whip that.
You wanted to whip that. Oh my God.
And so she's like, oh, she starts flirting back with him, and you could tell that she's
playing the game.
She's playing the game.
She's playing the game.
She's playing the game. 100%.
But she does approach it like for her, she felt it was a red flag that he want to live in.
No, that's the conversation that he had with. Oh no, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's right.
My
bad.
And so about moving to the Caribbean, right? And she was like, I'm looking to stay in Texas, so we might not be the right couple. So. What's to be
Red wants to be the man around town that everybody knows, and he's not. Yep, you're right, Avis.
And so for him, he was like, well, yeah, I do like Texas, and I am making all these decisions while I'm single, and I am open to staying here, blah, 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 trying to smooth it over what his original statements were. I was like, I hear you, but you seem very passionate about the beaches and, little Marvin's running around on the beach,
Little Marvin's.
And so I'm just like, yeah.
Because Kyra's like, he has a great way of saying what he wants, what we want him to say, or what he thinks we want to hear. You know, so she's, you know, that's when we start to see, okay, yes, she's not necessarily feeling him. Then Kat and Herbert have a conversation, and Kat, you all know, is new to the whole process. She's like, Herbert giving grown man vibes.
Well, he is a grown man.
Well, all them grown men supposedly.
Well, I'm assuming she's talking about the maturity.
I hear that, yes.
You know, I can't remember how old he is. I think he's in his mid-30s, if I can remember correctly. So I think he's the one that's really sneaking up. He's not really like very outgoing,
right?
But I'm seeing a lot of women are digging him.
Yeah, he's 37. He's an aviation manager. So yeah, he's there, and that's, you'll always have in Ready to Love. You'll always have those people that are kind of unassuming, and then all of a sudden it's like
come out of nowhere.
Everybody's like checking for him,
right?
So yeah, so he's one that people are checking for, ladies are checking for. He gives off the right vibes of being mature, without being old.
Right, because he's not that old.
Right. But yeah, he gives those vibes of knowing what he wants.
Right.
And being able to just communicate that. So then they go line dancing.
And poor Christopher.
Bless his heart. Christopher.
Yes. He's like, y'all gonna put me in some two-stepping?
He's like, I don't even electric slide.
I said, Lord Jesus.
Now, let me know what y'all think, because I just think any black person that can't electric slide, that might be a red flag.
What?
If you can't electric slide, Cupid shuffle, or what's the other one? What's the other one? I forgot what it is. Y'all know which one I'm talking about. If you can't do one of them dances, I'm not asking you to do all of them, because I recognize the generations, but they all kind of fit the same role, right?
They do.
But if you can't do that, you might need your card revoked. The wobble, that's it. There you go.
The wobble.
Yes, wobble with it. Wobble. Yeah. If you can't do none of those, I got some questions. I got questions. That's right. Hand in your black card, because if you don't know one of them. Now, here's the thing, because like I grew up in a church where dancing was like, we just don't dance, right?
Which I would do the electric slide.
Dance. No, I picked up the electric slide in college.
Oh, okay.
When I went away to college, I picked it up.
Okay.
So now it's like, but none.
Hey, I mean, he probably was in that deep Texas.
And
they didn't have deep Texas.
Well, if you're in deep Texas, you still two-step.
That's what I'm saying. He can't two-step. I don't know what he was doing.
Because
chasing raccoons.
Because I even take it even further. My school was a predominantly white, predominantly Jewish school. So
and all the Jewish people knew how to do electric slide.
They did their Hava Nikila.
Ha.
Yeah, they did that. So I was at the bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs doing that.
You hot stuff.
I knew how to do that. So it's like, you ain't got no rhythm to do nothing. Christopher, we got to talk, bro. I got questions.
What was the next one?
I got questions. What did you say? She said, hand in your black card. Yeah.
Oh,
I got questions on that one. So yeah, they're line dancing. Everybody else seems to pull it off okay.
Quentin, they say that was he knew how to dance.
Quentin knew how to move it. Quentin
he might had his own side hustle doing
Quentin
something else.
Might be on Chippendale's Dallas edition. Or he was with no shirt on and his cowboy hat. Listen, if whatever you're doing, if the fitness training don't work out for
right,
you, Quentin,
hey, they always need one.
Gotta have one chocolate chip in the whole vanilla ice cream. All right.
How did we get here?
Talking about Christopher not being able to dance.
Oh my gosh.
So Quentin and Janelle are talking, and that's again Janelle's other person that she's vibing with.
And they got an age difference, but I can't tell. Like he seems very mature, put together, and interested in her. So it's really, she's saying she can't see any difference in them at this moment. What sets, each man apart.
The thing that she does say that gives Quentin a little heads up is that he's constantly applying pressure. And that's what she wants. She wants someone that is constantly like, look, you're the one. I'm checking for you.
Yeah, but he checking for Lee too. Right?
So they had a great date, but I don't know that that's someone he's still checking for.
He might be, because he didn't spend all his time with Janelle. Janelle was with Herbert.
True.
And she said he was popular. And he's like, oh no, you're popular.
That's right.
So just because we're not seeing it on camera.
That's true.
Because my question is, does Quentin want kids? Because she is in her early 40s. So I think that would put them apart, depending on, is Herbert feeling the same way about wanting children?
How quickly they want to have children.
Right.
Yeah.
So that could be a thing.
That's true. So then Marvin talks with Lee. And y'all know we got to talk about this conversation. Because Marvin is talking.
And she asked some questions. First one about, can you be in a monogamous relationship?
Yep.
Because the way your lifestyle set up, you have more than one bank account.
You making deposits and withdrawals.
Right. And he's like, yeah, I want to be married.
I want what my parents had.
I'm like, do you? Because it seemed like you're going to surpass your parents so far and what they had.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, that's what I want. And then when I'm trying to put the words together. And he said, she said, will you get bored with being with one person?
That was the best question to ask. That's a great question that she needs to ask, that all the ladies should be asking him.
And he goes, long as my woman satisfies me, I think is how he put it. If I'm paraphrasing.
Something to that effect, yeah.
Yeah. And she says, what does that look like?
And then he starts talking about, the backside worship.
The backside worship. And I was like, what? What does that look like?
Because listen.
You explain.
We men, we do appreciate the curves of a woman.
Okay.
All right. And in particular, for most men of color, Black men, the backside is one of those things that it's not the only portion, right?
It's worth worshiping.
I don't know. Let's define what worshiping means.
That's what I'm saying. What does that mean?
Because does that mean I pray to it nightly before I go to bed? Does that mean I put candles on it? And
do I rub it before like say a prayer?
What does that worship part mean? That's the part that I'm like,
do you put it in a cat? Like you got photos of it around candles?
And listen, if y'all know what he mean by that, feel free to drop, because I'm
put it in the comments.
There's an appreciation, right?
There's appreciation,
right? There's a like, okay,
yeah.
But when you term it worship,
I know.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Then he goes into the other things as far as forced orgasms and
he was like
nipple play and all that stuff.
Right. And I'm like this. Can I control my own orgasm? Why do I have to have one? If I don't want one, why are you going to tie me to the bed? Because specifically he says he pulls out the restraints.
Yes.
And he's going to make sure you have one. Now that's dedication. I'm not going to say I don't appreciate the brother having some dedication.
Right.
But if we gone 20 minutes and it didn't come, it's not coming. Just let it go. We'll try next time. You're going to have the pineapple, my code word. Let me go, bro.
Because, and we've mentioned this, and I don't know that he's on the right show.
Yeah.
Because, again, it sounds like he has a very specific community that he caters to, that he's involved with, that he's operating out of, right? So if that's the case,
he should be able to find somebody, right?
Now, granted, he's in Dallas, but I'm sure that there's a community there.
I believe
he might have a better chance in places like Atlanta or even DC. But the fact is that I don't know that Ready to Love is the right place for that, because even Lee is like, she's like, I don't know what he wants, And I don't think I'm interested in it either.
Right. She's like, I'm not trying to judge him and how he's living his life. But if I can't understand or picture what that is
and see herself with that,
then she's like, I'm going to have to pass.
Yeah.
You know, and granted, I get that. And some things you have to really communicate well because, like you said, worship can mean different things to different people.
Right.
And so if you're not really breaking that down, then there could be a question there, right?
And if that's something that you're saying is going to keep you from being bored, and that's not even how, let's say, she normally flows, then now I've got to perform to keep you interested,
right,
and keep you engaged,
right.
Yeah, Marvin's person isn't amongst these ladies.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I don't think this.
Not at all.
This isn't the right. Again, this isn't the right place for him. And that find the place that caters to what you cater to.
Which is, and I don't know how many times he goes out with the women, and I don't know if it's the shock value, and he's just trying to get women interested in that thing.
That's a good. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, if you know who your community is and they're speaking your language, there's no need for you to decide, well, I just want to,
right,
just date randomly and everybody's going to be into it. Now, will people be willing to try something? Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, part of any romantic relationship, in my opinion, there is, especially when you're figuring out your way of operating together, there's going to be some quote unquote experimentation, or at least figuring out what works for the two of you,
what
right?
You like or not.
But one of the things that you said, if y'all remember last season, who was it? The boy, the 69-year-old, what was his name? Febreze.
Yes.
I remember Febreze, who was just constantly talking sex as shock value. That's a good point, that Marvin may also be using this as shock of, I'm going to stand out this way, but I appreciate him at least giving a heads up that this is what he's into, because then that gives Lee the opportunity and other ladies to say, okay, what does that mean? Are you looking to be monogamous? How can you stay engaged and stay monogamous and stay, committed?
Yeah, because when they were at the table, it was him, was it Quentin? I think it was Herbert. They were at the table and they were talking about, because now the ladies had to go and speak with Tommy. He was like, yeah, I was keeping it real and telling them what I want and everything. And I get trying to keep it real, but when someone can't understand where you're coming from, it kind of like, you really didn't do what you set out to do.
You can keep it real, but you have to keep it real with people that understand your language.
Correct.
Right. Keeping it 100% is cool. Awesome. But if we don't speak the same language, your authenticity doesn't mean too much to me, because I don't understand where you're coming from.
Yep.
So, so that pretty much, as far as, the dates and everything, as far as at the Hoe-Down. So Tommy is like, okay, ladies, who y'all feeling?
We have to talk about when Chris leaves.
Oh yeah.
And Jessica decides to make sure he has a whole tour.
Yes.
So her tactics different. Okay. Yes. Out of all the women, she already identified who she wants to stay.
Yep.
Then she's like, okay, you got to say bye to everybody and make sure you be nice, because I'm going to make sure you don't get voted off.
Right.
And it was hilarious to me.
Yeah. Cause she literally was taking him around.
Yes.
Like, all right, Aries, come say bye to Chris.
Right.
All right. Janelle, Chris is leaving. Wave bye to him. Chris, go ahead and go hug her real quick.
I was like, what is going on?
She literally politicked Chris all the way around that Hoe-Down.
The whole Hoe-Down.
And Chris is like, okay, yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Make sure.
Because Chris didn't want to go home. Get sent home when he going home.
So
the ladies, of course, are meeting with Tommy, and Tommy's like, okay, who y'all feeling? Who y'all not feeling? Normal names start coming up now. Herbert, Quentin, another popular name. Chris is kind of getting mixed reviews, if I remember correctly. So we're starting to see kind of where, things have shifted a little.
It has.
But we're starting to see who's starting to really feel who. Right. But then when it came down to who they not feeling, listen,
Red flag red.
Red flag red. Listen, that's gonna be his nickname. Red flag red. If he makes it past this episode, red flag red. So red was the overwhelming that we saw, but then Marvin's name came up,
which is not a surprise.
No. And so Marvin's name is coming up, and that's kind of where things are left. We have another cliffhanger, right?
As you want to call it, yeah.
Now, I think we're split on this.
Right, because either one would be a good decision. Right. I'd be like, send them both home. Let's just go ahead.
Might as well just save an episode, save some budget, send them both home.
Send them both home. But my thing is, are they willing to keep Marvin to see if they can decode what he got going on? Because someone liked him. Was it Jessica?
Someone did say
they were interested.
That there might be some ladies that are kind of interested. They just don't know what that means.
Right.
So that would be the reason that Marvin might stay. I am of the opinion that Red is going home.
I could agree with that.
Okay.
Because if it's coming to the part where it's hostile, right? If I have to,
and you can't let go one issue.
Can't let go
one issue.
Small
Part of the conversation with the person that you're not going to change their mind. Let it go.
Let it go.
So we'll see what happens, but I think so. Maybe we both agree that Red is probably the person that's likely.
As we're talking about it right now, I could see Red going before Red flag red may be going first.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting, but we're starting to kind of at least pare down some. Other than that, as far as now, if we can make the prediction now, as far as the ladies, which lady might be going home next?
No one stands out. I think it's still going to be Unique, might be at the bottom. It's a hard one. And I don't know who Jessica's connecting with.
Well, Jessica's connecting with Chris. My question will be Kyra. Kyra, whatever her name is.
Kyra?
Yeah.
Okay. Or I was thinking Sierra.
No, Sierra's got Marier.
Okay.
So that's a good connection there. Okay. As far as what we've seen.
Okay.
Aries seems to have a good connection. Janelle is not going anywhere anytime soon. I don't think.
That's why I was like, some of the ladies who just not showing up, like they seem to be way in the background.
Yeah, I think that Kyra might be, just because I can't think of anyone that she's really connecting with.
Not off the top of my head.
So, all right. Well, anyway, listen, I think that's it.
Yep.
Let us know, y'all are here. Let us know what your thoughts are. Definitely appreciate you watching and sharing and subscribing. And we'll probably do some more lives as we go along. We're also, just be mindful, we are adding new forms of content to the channel. So we're gonna, as your YouTube relationship coaches, we're gonna be offering different ways that you can engage with us, as well as get some advice for relationships. We're not experts, but we do have some things to share. Yeah, I don't think Kira's match is here either. Okay, let me just say this, because Kira's given me, I'm being nice. She's giving me, I'm trying to put it. Basically, her vibes are not. I don't find those vibes very. She's
not inviting.
Not inviting. She's fake, and she's coming off fake, I should say, in my opinion. She's coming off very
preppy.
That's the word. Yes. She's reminding me of the black girls I knew that sometimes forgot that they were black, if I can put it that way. That's the vibe. No, I'm not. This is just the way it's presented. This is the way she uses her vote, her tone, her inflection sometimes. I'm like,
well, she's the ones trying to blame Quentin for not liking
that's right,
black women.
You agree with me about as far as Kyra? She something's off with her vibes to me.
I think she's probably just the preppy. She probably did the whole Southern scene.
I could definitely see her doing like the Southern cotillion, botillion type thing.
Yes. She's kind of giving me that Southern Black vibe.
Yes.
In that arena area there. And so, so I can see how she personally will be looking for a specific type as well.
Right. And I was, at first I was going to say that she might be a certain type of a Divine Nine participant, but I know Divine Nine ladies who different, all the different categories, even if we talk stereotypical, that she doesn't necessarily fit one of them perfectly, right? But yeah, there's just something about her energy, her vibe that's just like, you can go home. So
did you say you could go home?
I don't think, that's why I don't think that there's a connection for her there. I don't think that there's anybody that's really checking for her. And just way it's presented as far as her clips and everything. I'm not saying that she's not a nice person. I'm not saying anything negative about her. I'm just saying it's something about her energy and her vibe that for me just doesn't work.
Right. It just seemed real preppy.
Yes.
And that's what
preppy is the word.
She's looking for was on Fresh Prince. Carlton. She's looking for a Carlton.
Carlton might be too tame for her. or too too urban for her. Especially the new Carlton on
not the new Carlton, obviously.
I'm not talking.
Listen, no, I'm not talking about Bel Air. I'm talking about Fresh Prince.
I'm just saying that new Bel Air joint goes hard too, though. All right. Listen, I think that's it. We're gonna let y'all go. Let y'all enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night. And definitely make sure you are subscribed and linked in for all the other things that we're doing on this channel. We appreciate you all. Have a great one. Be blessed.
Bye.